A judge for this case said he will rule on all of the above and how this case moves forward by the end of next week. We'll send it back to you in studio.
Joe, thank you. More than 2 years after the death of Rayshard Brooks, the community is still working to build a peace center in his honor.
Hope Ford found out where this all stands tonight.
What happens in the dark always comes to light.
At home here in Atlanta, I think the reaction was because it sent that shockwave that this is not something that just happens in other places across the country.
A restaurant turned grave. Rayshard Brooks killed in the lot. Atlanta officers charged with taking his life.
So I think it hit home for a lot of people.
Fire tore down the anger of his death. Activists tried igniting a movement in his memory.
Who represents me? I think it would be a great idea if the city itself could talk to community organizations and the family to get a Rayshard Brooks Peace Center built.
For 2 years, Kamau Franklin, the family of Brooks, and the community movement builders tried to get a peace center built here, but the center never rose from the ashes.
We've hit a dead end because the city of Atlanta did all that they could to stop the Peace Center from going forward.
Franklin and others tried continuing talks with Atlanta mayors, tried Wendy's corporate office. They were met with not nows, no's, and sometimes silence. Franklin thinks in part because of a not-so-silent narrative.
In some parts of the media, Rayshard Brooks was portrayed as someone, because he may have had a prior arrest or brush with the law, as not deserving, right? And I think there starts to be conversations about what they might have done to make this happen.
Then there's the fear of what a peace center might represent.
Something would remind people about his killing by the Atlanta Police Department.
But in actuality, Franklin says the fear should be in what's not always represented.
I think a peace center where the community gets to run and control what happens at the center, to have youth services, to talk about the issue of police brutality, to have folks who can do things that are alternatives to policing. I think all of that would be fantastic and great.
The center, for now, stalled, but Franklin says the conversation sparked by Brooks's death and others around the country still burn.
Police shootings are the tip of the iceberg. What we really have is the ongoing over-policing in Black communities, the arrests, the conviction numbers. Those things happen in the Black community in a way in which they don't happen to other folks here.
Will there ever be a peace center here? It's unclear. But no matter what becomes of this land, it will always be the place Brooks died. The flames extinguished, but there will always be a light on what happened in the dark. In Atlanta, Hope Ford, 11 Alive News.